One Friday Fights 87 Kongchai versus Chokpreecha is live from Lupini Bangkok Stadium this Friday at 2:30 South African time, the 15th of November. The top three fights are being broken down next in Fighting with Friends. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CPS Reports. It's your boy, Brother Gaia, back with another breakdown. This week, I am breaking down Friday Fights 87, Kongchai versus Chokpreecha. And like I said in a little bit of the intro, I'm going to break down the main three fights only. That's only because these are the fighters that I know and I've seen them fight before. The rest of the card looks a little bit unfamiliar to me, to be quite honest, but that's why I'm doing this. And I would like to reach out to the fans out there and audience members of this channel to reach out in the comments as well to let us know, and also myself, some of the fighters on this card that I can look out for, who's going to be potentially having the fight of the night kind of experience. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me get straight into it. Starting with the matchup between Kongchai and Chokpreecha. I'm going to start with Kongchai. He's obviously headlining the main event. Kongchai's record in the One Championship currently stands at 6 wins, 3 losses, and 0 no contests. He's got 1 win by KO. He beat Xavier Gonzalez twice by unanimous decision. That's one of the noticeable wins on his record. He lost to Compet twice by unanimous decision. Compet literally just fought last week. And then obviously on his last outing, he beat Amir Abdul Muslimov by unanimous decision. The one thing I like about Kongchai is he doesn't necessarily have the most knockouts. I'm going to go down just the list there to show you. As you can see, there he's got one finish in all of his fights in the One Championship so far. Two. One knockout over Kickpit and then 1 TK. He lost by TKO scheme. So he only has 1 finish. There you can see on screen. But though his style is something that I find quite interesting. It's a bit different to majority of the Thai fighters in the One Championship, who don't just throw a lot of hard leg kicks and extreme elbows and look to just fight in the clinch. What Kongchai does really well is that he fights at the southpaw stance, very good boxing combinations. He mixes up between body and then head. He likes to use the high-low situation where he's not just going straight for the head. He's actually setting it up by maybe digging into the body first, throwing a leg kick, and then maybe then coming up high in these combinations like that. I think it's quite phenomenal, and he also switches the stances really well, so it makes it difficult to keep up with him. I remember the fight that he won against Amir, and I think what made him win that fight quite significantly was that he was using a constant wave after wave of attack. So when he's coming at you, he doesn't throw 1 or 2 strikes. He kind of throws like 4 or 5. And he kind of throws a full combination before he before he pulls out of the position that he sets himself against. He'll come in and he'll throw in maybe a jab, low kick, and then he'll go you go right hand, left hook, right hand, and then he'll come out to that position to sort of evade his opponent's strikes. And then also what's amazing, but also a little bit dangerous about Kongchai is that when he does get rocked, it wakens the sleeping beast. He kind of just gets all kind of riled up, but then also puts himself in the line of fire, in a lot of danger, and kind of gets stopped that way. So I want to see him a little bit more with his hands up, be a bit more patient when he's going in and not necessarily rush. His styles already is one of those styles that's difficult to prepare for. So I think if he just adds a little bit of patience to his game, I think he becomes a very difficult fighter to compete against. So he is taking on Chokpreecha. Put it on the screen there. Chokpreecha's record in the One Championship is currently 3-0. He's got 1 win by knockout. He beat Abdallah Undash by majority decision in his last fight. And he's more noticeably known for his power strikes. He's a little bit shorter than Kongchai. As you can see on screen there, he's got 3 wins and 0 losses. Knocking out Pongseri, who I don't think he's the OG Pongseri, by the way, but you can let me know where the Pongseri is from and which camp. Chokpreecha is slightly, if not a little bit, significantly shorter. Let me just look there. He's got 5.3. It's 161, and he's 5'6". So yeah, you can see there already. There's a significant height discrepancy between the two fighters. And Chokpreecha, however, makes up for that height with his power. He's got a lot of power shots. Everything he throws has got heaviness to it. Like I said, he's short and stocky, but he's very quick, especially when he enters the pocket. And once he enters the pocket, you can expect him to attack your body. Everything that he throws comes with ill intentions. And I think one of his best attributes in Chokpreecha is that he's a forward pressure, forward momentum kind of fighter. So he looks from the very beginning to close the distance, stay in your face, and almost keep your opponent moving backwards all the time. And that's a very difficult thing to fight against, because if you're fighting going backwards for majority of the fight, you're losing stamina. You have to rethink your strategy. You have to rethink about how you throw in shots now, because you're moving backwards all the time. You may not have the exact amount of oomph that you would if you're going forward, which means you're going to have to cut corners, cut angles, and sort of throw off from an angle to almost have that same kind of impact you would if you were actually going forward. So this is going to be a fantastic fight. It's about who's going to be the bull. I have a feeling that Chokpreecha is going to be the one that's going to be pushing forward majority of the fight. Kongchai doesn't like to fight off the back foot, although he is quite creative with the back foot, but I don't think that's usually where he wants to be. He wants to be the guy going forward all the time. So it's going to be Kongchai's boxing combinations, which he never really throws one at a time. He kind of throws a number of shots before he actually resets himself, versus Chokpreecha, who likes to close the distance. If you can think of a nice blueprint of a fighter that's got an example of Chokpreecha's style, is John Lineker. You know, a guy just comes in, you know, he's going to hold his guard up really well. He's going to walk forward. He's going to kind of he's going to swing at you, but not in a way that looks reckless or that's sort of like reckless abandonment. It's more of like he's very, very chaos controlled. He knows exactly how he wants to throw his shots and when he wants to throw it. It's not just I'm going to go in there and swing for the fences and eventually knock you out. Everything that Chokpreecha throws is very, very, very calculated. So this fight, as much as there's not a lot of hype around it as it stands right now, we're not seeing so much media going on about this fight. Stylistically, it does make, if you're a fight enthusiast, stylistically, this fight is something that you're going to want to tune into. So you can tune into that fight. That is the main event. Kongchai taking on Chokpreecha. If I'm not mistaken, this fight is in flyweight, strawweight. They're fighting in strawweight, so that means no one's fighting catchweight. That simply means that these guys are very close, particularly Kongchai is very close to potentially getting a contract as a $100,000 contract and making himself the newest inductee or the newest fighter on the roster of the One Championship. I think if he gets the job done in a very, very phenomenal fashion, I won't be surprised that they're giving him a $100,000 contract on this fight. As for Chokpreecha, I think he still needs to fight a little bit more. I mean, 3 fights, three wins. I do think he needs to probably fight a little bit more. If he beats Kongchai, I think he's one fight away of getting that contract. But if he loses here, he's going to have a couple of more before he gets to that contract. Who do I think is going to win? I think Kongchai is going to be the one to be able to navigate the power, move around a little bit more elusively, and land in the pocket a little bit quicker, and then ultimately getting himself the win. History has proven that Kongchai is a unanimous decision machine, doesn't really knock people out. So for that reason, I'm going to see him winning the fight over the course of the 3 rounds. Let me know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, what you think about that fight and who do you have winning. We're going to move it on to the co-main event. Please just give me a moment here. I'm going to try my best to pronounce this name correctly. Because it's not that easy. It's not something that I say on my tongue from almost every day. So the co-main event, we have Denkiangkrai taking on Stephen Irvine. And Stephen Irvine has become one of the fan favorites. But I'm going to start with Denkiangkrai. His record in the One Championship is currently 4 wins, 3 losses, and 0 no contests. He's got 1 win by knockout. He beat Sanpet by KO in his last fight and Patakake by unanimous decision before that. And significantly, one of the core styles I'm going to highlight of Denkiangkrai is that he is lightning quick. Very, very fast combinations. He's fighting out of the southpaw stance. So we look for his left straight and left hook. A lot of his power shots, obviously, traditionally is going to come from his left side. But what I'm saying that is because what I like about really elite fighters that fight from either stance is that they know how to use their weaker side to be very, very dangerous weapons, not just rely on their more dominant side. That's not something that Denkiangkrai is. He's not that kind of fighter. He's just very quick, very creative, fast elbows. His deep kicks are phenomenal, low kicks are phenomenal, but I think his best weapons is boxing combinations, especially when he throws that left straight. It comes at such a fast pace and directly down the line. A lot of fighters have difficulty dealing with that, and he uses reach really well. I'm going to just scroll down to show you show you a little bit of his record on screen. As you can see, that he's fought a few times in the One Championship. A couple of repeat opponents in Epiwat. But like I said, the 2 noticeable wins are the ones that he had lost. So that means he puts him on a 2-fight winning streak. And very elusive, very creative, 25 years old, young, vibrant, was a very cool fighter to watch. But he is going up against one of the fan favorites in Stephen Irvine. I'm just saying Irving, thinking of the Resident Evil characters here. Stephen Irvine has once entering the one championship, he just blew up everything. Like his record currently stands at 4 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest, 2 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO. So that's 3 finishes. He beat Focus by KO in his last fight and Long Earn by unanimous decision before that. Only losing to Sing Dom Tong, who is actually fighting in the fight before Irving goes up. The cool thing about Stephen Irving, his style is again European boxer, power puncher, loves to attack the body, doesn't always just head hunt. Fights off the back foot and the front foot really well. I would love to see him use more kicks in his arsenal. I think he uses kicks just to almost to throw his opponent off, kind of get their mind or their eyes going away from his hands, and then because he never really kicks to knock people out. From if there are videos like that, there are fights where you can find that, please send them to me. I'd love to see that kind of activity. What I've watched so far in the one championship, watching Stephen Irving, the Al Matador, I think he's a fantastic boxer. Look, they only one loss, and that's against Sing Tong, who's also very, very creative and can fight a number of rounds. But Stephen Irving has got, again, really good boxing and punching power, and I think he's slightly, if not taller than most of the fighters. 5'6". That's generally a good height, even though it's not on average, it's an average height. But generally in the sport of Muay Thai, a lot of the Thai fighters are not usually much taller than that. So I think Stephen Irving has got that advantage. 24 years old, still very young as well, like his opponent in Denkiangkrai. Only a year between the two gentlemen. So this is also going to be a bonbon. I think it's a fantastic fight for one championship to put together. Because I think both fighters are going to come in and look to swing. I think Stephen Irving is obviously going to try and allow his power advantage. He's probably going to try and get close into Denkiang's void, and then look to body strike him. Because the one thing I noticed about Denkiangkrai, he doesn't necessarily defend his body very well. His stance is usually quite high, like typical Muay Thai guys, and that will make that will allow for Stephen to attack the body. And one of his best shots is the left hook to the gut. Liver shot. Shout out Pastor Rutten. That's one of his best shots, and I think he's going to look to use that to kind of end the fight. Whereas Denkiangkrai is probably going to try and stay on the outside, look to tip a lot, and eventually close in once he notices that Stephen Irving can't keep his hands up anymore. Maybe he's losing a bit of stamina and he can't handle the attacks to the body. It's a very difficult fight for me to pick, to be honest, because I feel like both guys are pretty evenly matched, and they both have each other's. Both game plans pose threats to one another in a way that either one can come out with a win here, and that's why I can't necessarily give you a pick. But if I must just be a betting man and go with it, I'm gonna go with Stephen Irving because he's the go-getter. He's a wild one. He puts on fireworks every time he goes into the ring, or the squared circle, as they say in one championship. So yeah, that's my pick for the co-main event. Is Stephen Irving to get the job done, possibly actually get the finish as well. Maybe in the second round, or third round. But I don't know if either one of the guys are going to get the job done in the first round. But let me know in the comments, gentlemen, what you think about this one and who wins, and also what happens next for them. Because I almost feel like Stephen Irving is also a couple of wins away of solidifying himself in the roster and possibly getting the $100,000 contract as well. Okay, but we're going to keep it moving here. Pardon me. Excuse me. To the third fight. Oh, whooping my life away here. To the third fight, as I said, Sing Dom Tong, who recently fought against Stephen Irving. He's still fighting in the fight before the co-main event. And again, this is the last fight I'm going to be previewing. Excuse me. So Sing Dom Tong's record in the one championship currently stands at 4 wins, 1 loss, and 0 no contest. All of his wins have come by decision. He beat Pet Lampoon by decision, split decision in his last fight, which is a phenomenal fight and not an easy fight for anyone to fight. Pet Lampoon is very, very strong, and also he can go all the rounds, pick his shots, and he makes it difficult to fight against. And for Sing Dom to come out victorious in that fight, which I thought he actually could have lost as well based on the scorecards. He came out on top, which speaks quite volumes to his style and his attributes as well. He beats, like I said, Stephen Irving by a majority decision. The cool thing about Sing Dom Tong, he fights orthodox, very creative striker, loves to teep as well, teeping to set up his combinations because he's not necessarily the tallest. He's quite lengthy in the way he uses his legs and his hands, his boxing, and again, just like Kongchai, Sing Dong is just creative and he just loves to move forward. He throws combos from all sorts of angles. Very rarely does he take the damage, and when he does take damage, he's quite intelligent in doing. Backs up really well, keeps his guard up, doesn't necessarily stay in position where he can get stuck all the time. Doesn't push his hands out to evade strikes. He's very competent. Keeps most of the things that can get damage closed off. And he moves out of the way, and I think he's also one of the fan favorites. And I'm looking forward to seeing him perform and fight this fight. He's taking on Wacharapun Singa Mayan. There we go, bring it up on screen. Nice young lad for you. They're 22 years old. His record in the One Championship currently stands as 2 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contests, 1 win by KO. He beat Apiwat as well by unanimous decision, and he beat Song Chana by KO. His last fight, he lost to Sab Pet and Asalamjo Ortikov by unanimous decision, and he definitely needs a win here because of the record. And I'll just scroll down a little bit to show you what I mean. 2 wins, 2 losses. So he obviously wants to correct that. And Ortikov is a phenomenal fighter. If you haven't seen him, go check him out. The dude is just a blast to watch. Also very creative. Throws some all sorts of game-like kind of moves, and he's just a crowd favorite in the way that he carries himself in and outside of the square circle. So no bad strike on Wacharapun's name for losing to someone like that. However, he held his own. He fought all 3 rounds with him, and you know, one thing I like about Wacharapun is that he looks to love to fight in the clinch. He uses elbows really, really well, and those are very dangerous weapons. So his game plan is obviously to close the distance on Sing Dong Tong and fight mainly with inside the clinch. Throw a lot of knees, throw a lot of elbows, and keep it in that space, because you're taking away the attributes of Sing Dong Tong, who loves to fight from the distance because of his length. He's jabbing. He throws nice straights to the body, coming up then with a left hook, then throws low kicks, then throws high kicks, then deep again. His deep kicks is what helps him, sets up all his combinations, and he's a very forward momentum, forward pressure kind of fighter. Never really allows his opponent to push him back. So I'm interested to see how this fight plays out, because you've got Wacharapun, who loves to push opponents back, and you got Sing Dun Tong, who also loves to push opponents back. So they might just car crash. I think whoever's going to maintain and win the forward momentum battle is probably going to win the fight. Who do I think is going to get the job done? I'm going to go with Sing Dong Tong. He's older. He's got more experience. He's fought some bigger names. And look at that. He's fought bigger names. So I do think that he's going to come out on top by by virtually being the more experienced fighter. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my preview. Again, like I said in the opening shot of the video, if there are any other fighters on this card that I've not spoken about, which is probably the rest of the card, and there are fantastic ones that's probably going to put on a fantastic performance, please let us know in the comments. I'd love to see that, because I can make notes of those particular guys as well for future videos. On that note, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. It helps all of us continue to grow and maintain this community, especially during the time now where, especially after what happened with UFC last week, when Rania Derrida, the former champion of One Championship, came out and was not necessarily saying nice things about One Championship, which could potentially, tarnish the fan base and also just the company itself. This is the time where we all should get together and help grow the community of the One Championship, because these are fantastic fights. I think the longest time, the global and the majority of the masses did not have so much eyes on kickboxing and Muay Thai and Glory as much as it has now. And that's all thanks to the One Championship. So yeah, if you like the video and you share and comment and subscribe to all these things, it's going to help all of it grow, and we can make our community continuously to grow. On that note, stay safe, enjoy the fights. You can catch myself and the rest of the panel on the recap of One Friday Fights 87. Stay safe, stay blessed, and you can catch your boy on the next one.